Just picture this scene for a second. The air is cool, maybe a little damp, smelling of wet earth and pine. It's this quiet reminder that the real heart of Bali beats far, far away from its famous beaches, deep up in the mountains. And right there, in all that stillness, a figure appears. Hey, welcome. Today we're taking a journey up into Bali's highlands to uncover the sacred story behind this incredibly serene statue at Lake Beratan. She's the guardian of water and life itself, Dewi Danu. All right, let's dive in. This is one of those things where to really get this statue, you have to understand Bali on a much, much deeper level. We're moving way beyond just a beautiful photograph to really dig into the powerful beliefs that have shaped this island for centuries. It's a story all about water, faith, and honestly, survival. All right, so our first question is pretty simple, right? Who is this graceful figure that's watching over the lake? Who is the character right at the very heart of the story? Well, this is Dewi Danu, and in Balinese culture, she is just profoundly important. She's the goddess of water. But here, water isn't just seen as some resource. It's seen as the very source of life. So her presence here, it's not just symbolic. No, it's a deep spiritual connection to the entire island's well-being. And get this, her influence is believed to be incredibly tangible, like something you can actually feel. For centuries, farmers have looked to her for way more than just spiritual guidance. They believe she literally controls the flow of water through all the rivers and lakes. So her blessing, it's directly linked to getting those bountiful harvests and ensuring the prosperity of whole villages. She's the ultimate symbol of that essential balance between us humans and the natural world. And that really brings us to the core of this whole story. How does a spiritual belief in a goddess translate into the actual physical nourishment of an entire island? How does that work? Well, the answer lies in this really remarkable cycle. Okay, so check this out. This is the whole cycle. It all starts with Dewi Danu's spiritual blessing, right? That's what's believed to nourish the mountain lakes, like Lake Beratan. From there, those lakes feed the rivers, and that water is then channeled into one of the most incredible irrigation systems you'll find anywhere in the world. It's called the subak. And that system is what ultimately waters the rice fields and makes sure everyone has a successful harvest. And look, this isn't just some local wonder. The subak system is so unique, this amazing blend of community cooperation, spiritual belief, and ecological wisdom, that it's actually been recognized by UNESCO as a World Cultural Heritage Site. Think about that. It's a living, breathing philosophy, and it flows directly from the belief in Dewi Danu. Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. We've seen the really practical side, the flow of water. But what about the spiritual landscape? Because up here at Lake Beratan, that line between nature and faith, it just gets beautifully blurred. This right here, this really gets to the absolute heart of the Balinese worldview. Where a lot of us might see water as just a resource, something to be managed and used up, the traditional Balinese perspective is totally different. They see it as a sacred gift from the divine. It's something you have to honor and respect, not just use. And that statue of Dewi Danu, that's the ultimate expression of that honor. And then, right nearby, you have this incredible site, the Danu Beratan Temple. It seriously looks like it's just floating right there on the lake's surface. When you see it together with the statue, it creates this otherworldly scene. The water acts like a sacred mirror, reflecting the heavens and physically connecting the divine world with our earthly one. The whole landscape just invites you to stop and reflect. So that brings us to the modern experience. Why do so many people, not just from Bali, but from all over the world, make the journey up into these cool highlands to visit this one specific spot? What's the draw? Well, the reasons are really as varied as the visitors themselves. You've got some people coming to seek out history and spirituality. Others are just looking to escape the heat and the crowds of the coast. It's a place where, as our source material puts it, time just moves differently. You can glide across the lake on a small boat, or you can just find a quiet spot and let that incredible calm wash over you. And hey, if you're ever planning a visit, here's a fantastic pro tip for you. The absolute best time to go is during the dry season, which is roughly April to October. And if you can manage to get there early in the morning, oh man, you're rewarded with these crystal clear skies and a profound sense of solitude. It feels like you have the whole magical place to yourself. All right, so as we start to wrap this up, let's come back to that central idea we started with. Because the statue of Dewi Danu is so much more than just an artistic monument or another tourist landmark. When you get right down to it, the statue is the physical embodiment of Bali's spiritual soul. It represents this timeless philosophy of balance. It's the idea that true prosperity doesn't come from taking, but from living in harmony with nature, and from honoring the divine forces that sustain all of life. And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? In a world that is so often about taking and using up resources, what kind of quiet wisdom can we learn from a culture that thrives by honoring nature's rhythm? What can we take away from a people whose entire prosperity is built on a foundation of gratitude and respect for the world around them? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining me.